Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Cobalt Productions. Thank you for being here. And all aboard the struggle bus. The Charlotte 49ers were 1-3 when I last uploaded on September 20th. It is November 9th, and the 49ers sit at 1-8. They are 14th in the American Athletic Conference. That puts them as the worst team in the American and probably a bottom 5 team of 136 in the FBS. So what has happened since we lost to Rice back in September? Well, we have 5 straight losses since that other loss. We lost to South Florida, Army, Temple, North Texas, and yesterday we lost to ECU, which is our biggest rival and was a very tough defeat to take. They won 48-22. So what's been happening over the past month? Well, a variety of things. Tim Albin has reported that we have about 15 season-ending injuries, and this isn't something that's been super new. This was reported in early October, even before we played South Florida. Unfortunately, we've also had a rotation at quarterback. Zach Wilkie was given the reins against Army in South Florida, but he was later benched for Grayson Loftus. We haven't seen much improvement, obviously, as the result has been the same throughout every single game, regardless of the quarterback. Now, in this video, there's literally nothing to break down other than the fact that the 49ers take the field and get whooped every single Saturday that we play. Throughout the past 5 games, Charlotte has scored 89 points. Their opponents, 229 points. They are averaging a margin of loss of about 28 points per game. And look, I understand North Texas, they're one of the best teams in the American, but it is inexcusable to lose to Army amidst a government shutdown. That is ridiculous. And it wasn't even like it was a 1-score game. They lost 24-7. Let's be real, the 49ers do not have a lot of positives. Though I was proud of the team when we took North Texas all the way to the 4th quarter, only to lose by 30 somehow in that game. Really, it's tough. We know that the AAC is one of the most competitive conferences this year. There's literally 5 teams in the running for the at-large bid for the college football playoff, and obviously that's not going to be Charlotte, not even close. Probably not even in the next decade. But let's kind of discuss some of the offensive stats that we've had this year. Well, Zach Wilkie, before getting subbed out and benched, he had 2 touchdowns and an interception. Grayson Loftus leads the line with 5 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions to go with it. Our star player on offense has definitely been Javen Nicholas. He has 569 reception yards, 3 touchdowns, and has 41 receptions on the season. Followed by that, we have EJ Mason. He has 332 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns, and 23 receptions. Flipping to the defensive side of things, the outstanding player has been Captain Reed Williford. He leads the team with 28 tackles. So when we think of what has gone wrong, it's very obvious. You know, the season-ending injuries have not helped anybody. But I think one thing that we really need to focus on is the lack of NIL funding. All this money goes here, there, and everywhere. And even when it goes to the football team, it's to build a 30,000 capacity stadium, despite not even being able to pull 10,000 to most games. And while that some games, like the homecoming game, can be sold out, that's not every game. So all this money goes into a new stadium, but what are the results on the field? Well, right now, we sit at 1-8. If I were to predict the end of the season, it's going to be 1-11. The opponents that we have next, UTSA, that won't be easy, but you know it gets harder, as we have Georgia on November 15th. And who's to follow that? We travel to New Orleans to play Tulane. We're going to get smoked by each and every team, and it's not ridiculous to say that. The point being that it's going to get worse before it gets better. I do forecast us finishing 1-11, and we're probably going to lose half our team to the portal, as we brought in 55 plus guys this summer. I don't see why most of these players would stay. You think about Javen Nicholas, he's been one of our best players on the roster. There's no way he stays, and if he does, all props to him. But he could easily go to a Power 5 team and be, wide receiver 2 or 3 on a team like that. That's my optimism speaking, of course. It's going to continue to get worse. The portal is very treacherous. December is now going to be dead, and it'll just be a January window, so no transferring after a spring practice or anything like that. And other problems we run into is that our alumni base really just isn't there. Why would you want to donate to a program that has never really won anything and is also 12 years old? That doesn't make sense, and that's why we don't have money. We can't keep riding the coattails of a R1 research school, because that just doesn't work. That doesn't get football players on the field. That doesn't get 4-star quarterbacks or 4-star recruits, and that's our problem. And when we think of all the banking jobs and everything in Charlotte, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Ally, Truist, do we think those employees that are in a very nice tax bracket compared to the normal people, do we think those people are all alumni of Charlotte? And say they were, do we really think they're going to donate to a 12, 13-year-old football program? Because the short answer is no. And those people also don't fully pull from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. These are Chapel Hill grads. These are state grads. They are also from out of state. They might be from up north. Other predominantly good schools that produce banking talent. That also explains why Charlotte has terrible NIL. It's tough to rally around a team that simply doesn't win. When we think about what's next for the 49ers, I guess it's very simple. You have to stick by Tim Albin. He's a program builder, and that's pretty much all I can give us. We stick by him. We get a new athletic director and pray for the best. And somehow we recruit in-state instead of going out of state. There's so much talent in Charlotte. Just recruit in Charlotte. It's going to be tough to attract them as we have terrible resources. But ultimately, at this point, I'm just waiting till the end of the season so I can get my hope back over the summer and hopefully into next season, because right now it is very grim. Maybe if I wasn't blindly faithful to the team, I would have realized that after the App State game and losing in our own backyard, this season was done for. So we're probably going to finish 1-11. If you have any comments or video suggestions, please leave them down below. I appreciate your thorough support, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching.